Welcome back, Hawkeye and college football fans alike, to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. I'm your usual host, Blair Parks, and here I am ramped up. My heart is beating, my blood, my juices are flowing. Here we are on the evening of the biggest matchup, the biggest ranked matchup in recent history in November in Kinnick Stadium. Saturday at 2:30, number 9 Oregon travels to Iowa City to take on number 20 Iowa. And what an epic matchup this is going to be. I've been thinking about this game all week long. I can't believe the weekend is finally upon us, that I am ready to give you my official prediction to who I think is going to win this game. If this is your first time with me, welcome to the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. And if you, whatever you could do to show your appreciation, to support the channel and help it continue to grow, please feel free to do that. If you think I am worthy, please like, share, rate, subscribe. And as always, I always ask for, welcome, and value and want your participation. So please light up that comment section below. I especially want to hear from all of you Oregon Duck fans to get your take on this weekend's big time matchup in Iowa City. Can't wait to hear from you, from Hawkeye fans, and all of you college football fans, because I am here for you. I mean, what an absolute pleasure and blessing it is for me to be here with you, sharing my love and passion for all things college football each and every week. But I want to find more college football fans just like you. All right, so here we are, my official prediction for Saturday's game, Saturday's big ranked matchup going down in Kinnick Stadium. I'll get right to the point. I like Iowa in this game. And I'm going to go ahead and break that down right now, why I believe Iowa will come out on top of this big-time matchup. Now, to rewind a little bit, because sometimes you must move backwards to move forwards, preseason on this channel, I picked Oregon to win this game, all right? I thought, because of the reasons why most people know why Oregon is dangerous, because of their talent. I mean, and make no mistake about this, this is a roster that has Alabama, Ohio State, Texas, Georgia talent. It absolutely does. I thought because of their talent, their speed athletically, I mean, this is a fast team. I thought that it would be just too much for Iowa to handle. But here's why I am changing that. All right. Not that Oregon doesn't have that perceived and expected talent. It absolutely does. But this is a young team that still really hasn't gelled quite yet. I mean, we haven't seen their best football yet for the Oregon Ducks. There's no doubt about that. They're a young team. I still think they're a little bit behind on experience, and their resume and their schedule kind of shows that. All right. But the reason why I'm picking Iowa is because all of the variables, all of the trends are trending the way of the home team, the Iowa Hawkeyes. And I'll try to wrap this up within 15 minutes. I'm just so stoked. I mean, I can no longer contain myself. But this is why I think Iowa wins this game. And by the way, this is why we love college football so much. I mean, it's a great experience. I mean, this is why I was all about the Big Ten expanding out to the West Coast. I know some of you didn't really like that idea or you approved of that, but what an experience for Iowa fans to see a program like Oregon in the flesh, live in front of our eyes. And what a great experience for Oregon fans to travel to Kinnick Stadium, to take it in for everything it is, just like it's going to be for us Hawkeye fans. Next week, we travel out west to LA to play the Trojans in the Coliseum. Next year, we go to Husky Stadium in Seattle. And then I believe in 27, there's a return trip. Iowa travels up to Eugene to take on Oregon in Autzen Stadium. So I cannot wait to see those experiences. This is why we love it so much. All right. But here's why I think Iowa, if they play their game, if Iowa does Iowa things, they will come out on top of this game. All right. Now, the variables that have changed my mind, all right, is Let's start with the offensive side of the ball, all right? Oregon, one of the best, actually, I think they lead the entire nation in rushing offense. This team can be explosive, all right? And like I said, I mean, they've put up a lot of points against a lot of teams. Just listen to some of these points that they put up against some of their opponents: 59, 69, 41, 56. All right, those are big numbers, but that really came against inferior opponents. Now, listen to the offensive output against teams that are maybe a little bit better competition. We're looking at 30, 30, 21. So in those, the first games I mentioned were against teams like Montana State, Oklahoma State, Oregon State, Rutgers. So not world beaters by any means, but those better teams that they struggled with offensively, were more challenged, I should say. Those were teams Penn State, Indiana, and Wisconsin. All right. In those first set of games I share with you, Oregon averaged more than 600 yards total offense. That's a lot. But in the second list of games I share with you, basically was cut in half, a little over 300 yards total offense. So to me, I don't really quite know how good this team is, and that was absolutely reflected via the initial college football playoff rankings, Oregon coming in at number 9, when I thought they'd be anywhere between 6 and 8. So there's no doubt, Oregon fans, at least most of them, from what I've seen, read, and heard, they know what's on the line for this game. This is a uber important game, maybe even the most important game of the rest of the season for this Oregon Duck team. All right. So Oregon's offense, we know what they can do. They can be explosive. They have good wide receivers. They've got this stud freshman named Moore. They've got the best tight end, I believe, in the entire Big Ten in Sadiq. So Iowa, the defense is going to have their hands full. All right. And Dante Moore can absolutely sling it. But is he your classic dual threat quarterback? I mean, he is, but not really. I mean, he is much more comfortable throwing the ball, but if it breaks down, he is able to scramble, improvise, but he is much more comfortable throwing the ball. Like, for example, he does not have any rushing touchdowns this season, when Mark Gronowski, the Iowa quarterback, and I'll get to their offense here in a little bit, he has 11. So this offense can be slowed down, and that's been shown in those results against better teams. All right. So we know what the Oregon offense can be. All right. Now, the Iowa offense, we also know who they are too. And this is what I'm kind of gathering. A lot of people are saying this game will be competitive. It's not going to be a cakewalk. But Iowa's Iowa. They're not going to be able to outscore Oregon's high-octane offense, all right? And that might end up being true, but this is what Iowa can do. They have one of, if not the best offensive line in the entire nation. They have a stable of running backs, 4 who are going to see legit carries on Saturday, all right? And they have a quarterback who, yes, doesn't throw for 300, 250 yards a game. Actually, the entire season, Mark Gronowski has not eclipsed 200 yards passing. But that is not something Iowa has shown they need to have happen to have success. All right? What the Iowa offense needs to do as far as passing is just take what Oregon gives them. The underneath routes, quick passing, keep them on their toes, and do not abandon that run game. It is going to be a drag them out, fight them out kind of game. Both of these teams, both of these coaches absolutely want to play the same type of style of game, drag you into a phone booth and have a good old-fashioned rock fight, control the lines of scrimmage, and then that'll set up the vertical passing game, whether it's drop back or play action. All right? So the Iowa offense, yes, they're not able to outscore this Oregon team, but they're very comfortable in their shoes. And this is not the Iowa offense of seasons past in this decade. Yes, for many seasons there, the Iowa offense was the laughingstock of college football, and deservedly so. our offense was, quite frankly, offensive. So I'm seeing a lot of Oregon fans are saying exactly that. Well, this is an Iowa offense that, hell, couldn't score in a morgue. Okay, funny joke. That's got me laughing. That is a good one, by the way. But this is a different type of Iowa team. This is the most balanced Iowa offense we've seen the entire decade. And even when they couldn't put up points, they still were winning 8+ games a year during the regular season. So, and they're playing their best football of the year is Iowa. I mean, they're healthy. I mean, everything is trending in the right direction for their offense. All right. And I'll tell you why I think there's a huge factor that's going to kind of void out the offenses potentially. All right. Now let's look at these defenses. Okay. And both of these defenses are absolute stout. All right. Everybody knows that what Iowa's going to bring to the table, a stout, disciplined defense that's not going to beat themselves. And both of these teams are in the top 4, that's right, in total defense. Iowa sits there number 2 in the nation, and Oregon is number 4, all right? And Oregon leads the nation in lack of big plays, so they do not give up big plays down the field. But once again, that's not something Iowa thrives on. They'd rather do ball control, possession, and try to take chances to just to catch you off guard, one-on-one down the field, and try to capitalize on your mistake. All right. So both of these defenses are absolutely incredible. All right. And I think the matchup to watch this game will be the Iowa offensive line versus the Oregon defensive line. That's where this game is going to be won ultimately, I believe. Now, the reverse of that, just to kind of bring this all together, I do favor the Iowa defensive line against the Oregon offensive line. Iowa's got 4 starting seniors. They're going to be getting after it. They're going to, if they stay in their lanes, contain Dante Moore, it's going to be a challenge for them. They don't necessarily have to get to Dante Moore, but they have to keep him off his rhythm, have some pressure in his face, get up in his airspace, in his grill, and it's going to make it difficult for that vertical pass game. All right? So defensively, I can't wait to watch this matchup. If you love defense, you got to watch this game, okay? But I think it's really going to come down to that. The defenses, but the thing is, both of these defenses don't really create a lot of turnovers. For some reason, their numbers are uber impressive, but they just don't really turn the ball over a lot. Now, one thing that the Iowa defense does do very well, actually better than anyone in the country, is fourth down defense percentage. And we know what Coach Dan Lanning is going to do. He is going to be aggressive. And why would he not be? I mean, if you punt, you give it to Iowa's best potential player, their offensive weapon, the game changer and game breaker, kick returner Caden Weegan. So he's probably not going to want to punt little as often to him. So I expect Oregon to go for it a lot on 4th and 3, 4th and 1, but the Iowa defense is the best in the nation at stopping fourth down percentage. All right. So that's going to be one thing to watch for on the defensive side of it. All right. Now, special teams, this highly favors Iowa, which it should. Iowa's bread and butter is defense and special teams. All right. Iowa's kicker, Drew Stevens, yes, at times he has been a little bit inconsistent, but if it comes down to a 50-yard field goal to take the lead, tie, or win, I'm rolling with Drew Stevens in this game. He's also at home. And Oregon's place kicker, Atticus, I mean, what a great name. His season long is 42. So the kicking game, absolutely to Iowa. Now the kick return game, I mean, Iowa has the best kick returner in the entire nation. I've already mentioned him, Caden Weegan, who has taken back not 1, not 2, but 3 kick return touchdowns this season, 2 of the punt return variety, 1 kickoff return. So they need to get him involved. All right, so special teams highly favors Iowa. All right. Other intangibles and variables that highly favor Iowa here. All right. I mentioned the offensive line. I mentioned the defense, the special teams. But Iowa, also known for their sound discipline and coaching, they lead the nation in fewest penalties and penalty yards. Basically, I think they only commit 2 penalties a game. So they are very disciplined. They are not going to make mistakes. All right. That's another thing that absolutely aids Iowa. But the big thing in this, one of the big variables, is it's inside Kinnick Stadium. All right. Now, this is November football. If this is a game earlier in the year, let's say it's September, early October, I probably maybe pick Oregon to win. But it's November, it's in Kinnick Stadium, a place that is known to where top 10 opponents go to fail. I mean, in the month of November, against top 10 opponents during the Kirk Ferentz administration, Kirk and Iowa is 5-1 when they play a top 10 opponent in November inside Kinnick Stadium. So that crowd, it's a perfect kick time. I love that it's 2:30. Some folks believe the 11 o'clock Central Time, 9 a.m. body time West Coast kickoff would favor Iowa because of that body clock. But I think it's better to give your home crowds ample time to get juiced up, amped up, ready to play. I love the 2:30 kick. I think it absolutely favors Iowa. And the other thing, Oregon has never made a trip inside Kinnick Stadium. The mosh pit, snake pit that it is, everybody knows that it is one of the most difficult environments in all of college football, to where the fans are right on top of you. But I know Oregon, the coaching staff and the fans have all heard this. They know about the crowd being right on top of you. They know about the wave. They know about the pink locker rooms. But knowing is way different than experiencing. Okay, so I think the Iowa crowd, it's going to be absolutely electric. It's going to be lit off the chain the entire game. All right, I think that's a huge plus for Iowa as well. Another variable is who has the most pressure on them. And both of these teams, this is a huge matchup, kind of for different reasons. Both teams really need this game. But one, in Iowa's case, number 20, they need a victory to A, get themselves into the playoff conversation, while number 9, Oregon, needs it to maintain staying in that college football playoff conversation. I think Oregon fans see from this initial ranking that, wow, they're not quite sold on us. If we don't win this game, we are going to fall back out of that probably top 15. All right, there's no doubt about it. So, and the pressure has to be more on the Ducks, A, being the road team coming in. Now, they are favored by 6.5. All right, that's another variable. This line opened up, I believe, at 8.5. Now it's down to 6.5. It was 10.5 preseason. So the line is trending towards Iowa as well. But they're expected to be in this position via that talent, via last year, via the coaching acumen of Dan Lanning, who I think is one of the best coaches, not only in the Big Ten, but in the entire country. I have uber respect for Coach Lanning and his staff. I think one of the best coaches at communicating what he wants, his game plan to his players. But they're expected to be here. They're expected to make the college football playoff, and they know what this game means. All right, so they're feeling the pressure. Iowa right now is playing with house money. I mean, yes, but they know Iowa needs it to get themselves in that conversation, because if they win, Iowa, everything is right in front of them for the taking. They have a tough game the following weekend on the road, as I mentioned, going out to La La Land to take on USC inside the Coliseum. And California typically, well, historically, has been a house of horrors for Iowa, but I'm not going to think about that week yet. I'm going one game at a time. But if they win this game, everything is right in front of them. If Iowa wins out, they go 10-2, they're in the playoff. There's no doubt about it. With that point, wins over Oregon and USC, okay? So I think the pressure also aids Iowa, or lack thereof, all right, because no one really figured Iowa would be here. And this is really all we asked for as Hawkeye fans. When we saw that schedule come out a couple of years ago and at the end of last season, I mentioned this on this channel, how excited I was to have not one, not two, but three college football playoff teams from last year travel here into Kinnick Stadium, all right, because yes, you want a challenging schedule. Iowa might lose these next two games, go 8-4, but that's the same record they were last year. But there is no doubt they are a better team this year, without a doubt. All right. So, far as the pressure and what this game means, it favors Iowa. Like I said, they're playing with house money. They should be nice and relaxed and say, you know what, let's just go out for ourselves. But this is the game we want, because whoever wins and loses this game, there's going to be a couple streaks that are on the line right now, and one will be extended and one will end. Iowa comes into this game, the losers of 11 straight against ranked opponents, while Oregon comes into this game currently with a 10-game win streak on the road, the longest in the FBS in the nation. So something's got to end this weekend or extend for one of these two teams. All right. Some other variables that I like here. I love the quarterbacks. I mean, Dante Moore is a legit Heisman Trophy candidate, but like I said, he's not going to hurt you with his legs. He might convert some 4th and shorts or 3rd and short with his legs. Absolutely. And people are going to say, well, come on, this Mark Gronowski guy, don't forget, this man leads the FBS in total victories as a starting quarterback. He has the record. Now, if you want to go ahead and nose up or crap on the FCS, fine. But this is a guy who's been in big games. He's a 2-time national championship winner at South Dakota State. He's been in these kind of games before. He knows how to win. I mean, throwing for 10,000 plus yards prior to transferring to Iowa, the guy has talent. And as far as the conditions, which I'm going to get here in a little bit, this guy can play in any type of situation and weather, any climate that Mother Nature can throw at him. I mean, last year against Incarnate Word, I believe that's what it was, in the FCS playoffs, I believe when they hosted Incarnate Word up in South Dakota, I believe it was like 14 degrees air temperature alone without wind chill at kickoff. And he's out there with he's out there in sleeves, just like his offensive lineman, okay? This guy is a gamer. He's going to leave it on the field, all right? And he can play, whether you want to accept that or not. All right, so the biggest factor, all right, is, I'm sorry, it's got to be Mother Nature. I've been watching this all week, and I think it is maybe another reason why that line is coming down towards the home team. This is the updated weather. I'm going to bring it up right now for you and check. Let me refresh it. Okay, Saturday. High of 42 degrees, overcast in Iowa City, 100% chance of rain, really more or less going to be in the afternoon. So overcast, 42, rainy. It's going to potentially rain the entire game. Now, that's not something that automatically favors Iowa. I mean, I've never been to Oregon, but I know the climate of the Pacific Northwest. Okay, it's basically a rainforest. It rains all the time. It rained last week. 2 weeks ago, their last time out against Wisconsin, which Oregon did win 21-7. So it was never really in the bag until late. And I know Dante Moore was knocked out with an apparent broken nose in the third quarter, but it was never really a guaranteed victory even before that. That's a team that Iowa defeated 37-0 up in Madison, that same Wisconsin team. All right. And that's something else. There's a lot of variables here, the common opponents. I mean, Indiana went to Eugene, and that's who handed Oregon their single loss right now. Final score 30-20 in that game against the number 2 Hoosiers. But Indiana threw a pick 6, and I believe also missed a field goal. So it should not have been that close. That's the same Indiana team that Iowa lost to 20-15. It was tied 13-13 early in the fourth quarter, but midway in the fourth quarter, still being tied, Mark Gronowski leaves with an injury. Iowa then misses the potential leading field goal, and Indiana responds very quickly by getting that game-winning touchdown. So Iowa could have won that game. I never say should have or would have because we don't know, but they could have won that game, all right, against what I think is the best team in the country. And bar none has given Indiana their toughest game and challenge all year long, and probably will until at least the Big Ten title game. All right. Rutgers, both of those games were in Piscataway. Oregon won 56-10. That's a big time score, a 56-burger. Iowa won 38-20, I believe, at Rutgers. So, yeah, they probably, 38-28 was the score, but Iowa was down 21-7 at that game at one point early. And like I said, this is not the typical Iowa team of old that, oh my God, they're down multiple scores. It's over. They can't score. Their defense buttoned it down and scored and came back and won that game. Offensively, not really just defense or special teams. And the same thing against Penn State. All right? That's the big time one right now that I look at this and I say, I don't know why everyone believes Oregon is going to win comfortably in this game, because when you look at the resumes, when you look at the schedules, these are two teams that it's like they're identical twins. I mean, their resumes correlate almost perfectly. All right, they just do. We all know in the whiteout, double overtime, Oregon wins at Penn State 30-24. But remember, that game was 17-17 at the end of regulation. All right. Penn State was leading after that first overtime, right? They were up 24-17. If they win that game, we have a totally different narrative. James Franklin may not be fired. He still might be there. Oregon may not even be highly ranked. We don't know. And some people say that's the game that ruined or wrecked Penn State. Maybe they were wrecked already. We don't know that. And Penn State traveled to Iowa. Iowa did win by 1 point, a game that I was at with my family, 25-24. So you're probably thinking, well, what does that mean? You're saying that game means more than Oregon going to Happy Valley in the whiteout? Yes, but also no, because Iowa was down 11 points in the fourth quarter to Penn State. They had to score, and they did on 3 consecutive possessions to take the lead, and their defense held firm under 2 minutes to go. Because once again, this is not the typical Iowa team that can't come from behind or score points. They can, all right? But the biggest factor, I'm sorry, I kind of went off a little bit of a tangent there. My apologies. I just want to make sure I cover everything. And please get involved below. I can't wait to hear from all of you. Like, share, rate, comment, subscribe, especially Oregon fans, Iowa fans. That Mother Nature, it's going to be rainy. We know that, but Oregon is used to that. But there's a chance it might be snowing in the second half. They're talking about a low of 24 degrees that night, rain, so we might have some flurries. And what that does, that totally negates the potential Oregon vertical pass attack. I mean, Dante Moore will still rack up some yards passing. Hey, but at that point, you can't say that's a huge advantage. That's an advantage that's taken away from Oregon. And you know damn well from what I've explained and what you've watched and seen for yourself that one of those two teams' offenses highly covets and relies upon their pass game more than the other. And that's Oregon. So that's absolutely aids Iowa to what they want to do. All right. And if Iowa does what they do, all right, they will win this game. But if they turn it over 2 or 3 times, miss some field goals, have a couple of dropped punts, missed field goals, they will lose. It's that simple. They will. But if Iowa just executes the way they have been lately, they will win this game. All right. I am overly confident. All right. And I'm going against everything that I thought because once again, I was so high on this Oregon team. I still am. But if you recall, I am not trying to throw shade at the Duck program or any of you Oregon fans, your team, your program, your community. I'm the guy who picked Oregon to win the Natty title last year. I did on this very channel, and you were that close. I think if you don't end up matching up with the juggernaut that Ohio State was in the postseason, you're at least going to meet them in the national championship game. All right? So I have nothing but respect for this Oregon team, but I just don't see Oregon winning this game because of all of these variables. And I think if you weren't aware of all of this, if you're an Oregon fan, I know you're probably thinking right now, I think Blair's onto something here. This is going to be a tough game. But I'm not saying, Oregon is a team that's capable of coming into Kinnick Stadium and defeating Iowa. They are. But absolutely, Iowa is capable of defeating Oregon this Saturday because of everything I've just shared with you. If they meet 10 times on a neutral stadium or in Autzen Stadium, yeah, maybe Iowa wins one, maybe two of those. Vast majority, Oregon wins. But I think with what I have shared with you, Iowa will get it done on Saturday, and they will put themselves in playoff position, and the University of Iowa Hawkeyes will be, at that point, a legitimate college football playoff contender. Whew, I am winded. I'm going to go ahead and log off. I went a little bit long here. Thank you for being with me. Thank you for your time, your attention, your support. It means so much to me. Please, whatever you are able and willing to do for the channel, like, share, rate, subscribe. Definitely participate. Get involved. Light up the comment section below. I'll get back to each and every one of you very, very shortly via those comments. It would be uber and vastly appreciated from me and the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. All right, well, I will be back on maybe Saturday night, if not Sunday morning, my reaction and recap to Saturday's epic showdown inside Kinnick Stadium. But until then, enjoy the rest of your work day or your school day. Enjoy the football on Saturday, and I'll see you really soon on the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. Peace, prosperity, and as always, go Hawks. Talk to you soon from the Touchdown Black and Gold vlog. Adios. Bye-bye.